Alright, so let's summarize what we have learned. First thing is we have seen what's master data and what are the important pieces of master data in MM. They are vendor, material, purchase, info, record. Next thing is we have seen how to create materials. The transaction code is MM01 to create, 02 and 03 to change and display. We have seen what material types are. We have seen 4 or 5 different material types. FERT for finished goods, HAVA for trading goods, HALBI for semi-finished goods, right? So on and so forth. We have seen 4 or 5 different material types and what a material type determines and which material type to use for what possible situation. So we have seen that SAP is a multilingual system, meaning, for example, we can specify the description of that material in different languages. So this is what flower means in German, and we can specify that here in different languages. Depending on the login language of the user, SAP will show them the corresponding descriptions, and when you print the POs, it prints in the corresponding language. And we have seen how to create vendors. Vendors have 3 different views, unlike materials which have so many different views. Vendors just have general, finance, and purchasing views. And we have seen that we can create general and finance view together using FK01. And if you want to create general and purchasing view together, you can use MK01. And if you want to create all these views together, you can use XK01. Now, why do we need to have so many different transactions and why do we need to separate the views? The reason is simple. Companies have departments, and when a vendor is being created, the finance department creates the finance view. The purchasing department creates the purchasing view. They don't want to crisscross. So that's why we have so many different transactions. And if somebody wants to create all the views together, they can do XK01. Then we have seen payment terms. What's a payment term? Payment term dictates how we need to pay back an invoice that we received from the vendor. We have seen examples of payment terms like 0001, 2, 0002, for example, is net 30. And then we have seen that apart from the number of days, we can also specify cash discount. And we have seen Incoterms. What's an Incoterm? An Incoterm specifies an industry standard term that's used to understand how a vendor needs to supply goods in terms of logistics. So standard examples of Incoterms are cash on delivery, free on board. And then Incoterms is also going to have 2 parts. Part 1 is the standard key and part 2 is a free form text. So cash on delivery until the warehouse or until the dock. Free on board until where? Until the dock. And from that point on, it's the duty of the customer. We have seen different units of measures. Standard unit of measures are already defined in SAP. And if you want to have your custom unit of measures, like a carton of beer, 10 bottles, right? And we have also seen the source of data in the PO. Data from the header comes from the vendor. Data in the line items comes from the material master. Header, line items. Header comes from the vendor. Line items comes from the material. And we have seen the order of precedence in the PO, meaning if a particular piece of data comes from 2 different sources, you know how to check which one takes precedence. Just maintain the data and create transaction and check where the data comes from. We've also seen what are texts. Texts are little pieces of information that can be tagged to the master data and that flows through to the transaction when you create them for that particular set of master data. So if you want to tag a material with a certain text, whenever you create a purchase order, that text flows through to the purchase order.